Hello my kings, queens, and fellow non-binary leaders, and welcome back to Nerdy Nakawa. Today we have a long expected video apparently. I really didn't think this series would be as popular as it is, and don't get me wrong, I'm super thrilled for this. Still, I hadn't planned to upload the third season and start the third season as soon as I now do, but so many of you have been asking for it that I thought, as like a little holiday special, I would at least give you the first episode already. So tell me what you think in the comments and how you think the story will continue, and now let's go! The ringing of the timer still echoed in his ears as the seconds passed. His muscles seemed to lock in place, unwilling to follow through with the movement of walking. He gulped. His head was spinning with anxiety. As soon as he'd open that door and look at the test, it'd be certain. He couldn't run from it anymore. His throat tightened. Was this how Kenma had felt? Did he sit outside the bathroom as Akaashi did right now, or was he staring at the test while the seconds ticked by? He had never thought about how nerve-wracking this part was, waiting 3 minutes just to hesitate and wish time would move slower once they were over, suddenly uncertain if he even wanted to know the result. Akaashi couldn't even say what he was hoping for. Just 2 months ago, it would have been clear. He'd have been thrilled to find the test positive, but now, he wasn't so certain anymore. Kichi, the test will get inaccurate if you wait too long. Suga's voice was gentle, and a soothing scent filled the air. It worked. His heartbeat slowed down again, and the air seemed suddenly a little bit more breathable. He nodded absent-mindedly. Still, his legs didn't move. The room wavered a little in front of him. He attempted to take a deep breath, but it got caught in his throat and he coughed. Suga's hand found his back and he rubbed over it in soothing circles, encouraging him to breathe slowly and covering him in another layer of soft juniper and chamomile. Should I take a look first? This way you won't have to, and we know the results, even if the test turns bad because we waited too long. Akaashi nodded. I'm sorry. Oh no, dear. It is no trouble at all, so don't mind apologizing. He smiled at him reassuringly. The older Omega made sure Akaashi sat safely on the ground before leaving him to check on the test. Akaashi buried his face against his knees as he tucked his legs up to his chest. He felt pathetic, being so weak and vulnerable. He felt stupid that he hadn't considered the possibility himself. He should be strong for his mates right now, not drowning in his sorrow. Kenma was so strong putting up with all of this, trying his best and succeeding to be strong for them. Kuro and Bokuto did fantastic as their mates, helping Kenma through it and even supporting Akaashi when he threatened to fall apart just because of a few mood swings. Why weren't they mad at him? How could they be still so understanding? They should be exasperated with him. Why didn't they hate him? Why did Suga support him? He should be there for his mates, not selfish. Akaashi. Slowly his eyes, glassy and reddened, wandered up to where the other kneeled before him, his eyes filled with concern. Thank the gods. For a moment I thought you were dropping. He engulfed him in his arms, pulling him closer as he sniffled slightly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Shh, it's alright. Everything's going to be fine, okay? He hiccuped in his arms, but found himself unable to answer the silverhead. Is he better? A new voice echoed through the room, and Akaashi instinctively tried to hide further. When he looked up, he found Iwaizumi, his phone already in hand. Suga nodded in response. Help me get him to the couch? He carefully helped Akaashi to his feet while Iwa closed the distance between them and offered additional support, half carrying him through the hallway to the living room. Once he was settled on the soft cushions, Suga was immediately by his side again, providing calm pheromones and comfort. The alpha took his distance so as not to agitate Akaashi further, but kept close, in case the situation worsened again. Minutes passed as his breathing and heart rate slowly returned to normal rhythm. I'm sorry. His voice was raspy, his throat dry from the adrenaline still in the system, and before he could ask for it, Iwaizumi offered him a glass of water. Thank you. I don't know what came over me, it's just... I might know what... Suga smiled sheepishly. It's positive, isn't it? He nodded, and a small, bittersweet laugh escaped Akaashi's throat. Months ago, this would have been good news. And now? I don't know. He gulped. Slowly his thoughts followed his body and calmed. With the anxiety less overwhelming, this at least didn't feel like the end of the world anymore. He wasn't selfish for conceiving or for being emotional about this. This was all just a little overwhelming. Understandable. Iwaizumi looked at Suga with mild horror written on his face, who simply threw him a reassuring smile, a warning written in his gaze. I'm okay now. I got this. He sat up slowly, testing the waters and drinking the water he was offered. Deep breaths. His heart fluttered. He wasn't certain what this meant for them, but an unfamiliar warmth rose within him, and he placed a hand on his belly in awe. Invisible, hidden under layers of tissue and skin, blossomed a new life within him. It was almost unfathomable. Akaashi could feel his lips curling up into a smile as he gently rubbed over his stomach. He didn't think about everything that could go wrong, all the risks that suddenly applied to him as well. His mind was overtaken by the love for his unborn child. He could feel it instinctively now that his focus shifted. Thank you, Koshi. The other looked at him surprised as his features softened. He reciprocated his smile, acknowledging with relief that the youngest panic had passed. It was replaced by something much gentler. There's nothing to thank me for. Looks like your alphas were a little bit too eager. He laughed and Akaashi joined in. How does it feel? Akaashi looked at him a little perplexed as his mind still dwelled on the discovery. To know that there's a pup growing inside you. The silverhead looked genuinely curious, and for a moment his eyes wandered over to Iwaizumi, who still stood a little helplessly off to the side. Overwhelming, but good. I don't even know them yet, but I'd give them the world. He knew the moment he spoke the words that they were true. This pup, his pup, had quickly become the most precious thing along with its sibling in the entire world. All the joy he wouldn't allow himself when finding out about Kenma's pregnancy due to the circumstances crashed down on him at once. He was happy. No matter what, he'd do everything for these pups. He wouldn't let anything bad happen to them, ever. He loved them much more than words could express. His worries seemed to fade, replaced by the certainty that he'd protect them. Akaashi had never felt so sure about anything in his life. Feelings were always fleeting and unstable, changeable, but not this one. The love for this child was as concrete and constant as the love for his mates, just that it came crushing down on him in an instant rather than growing over time. I love them. Nothing bad will ever happen to them as long as I'm around. Suga looked at him in awe as the room filled with the tender scent of lilac. When Akaashi came home, he was surprised to find the scent of his mates rather faint in the air. He had been so distracted by the discovery that he hadn't even noticed that despite being in their shared house, he couldn't feel them through their bond. Odd. But maybe they went out. Perhaps Kenma craved something they didn't have at home, or they spontaneously decided to pick Bokuto up from training, or... Another scent he didn't expect filled the air. It was unfamiliar at first, and so faint he assumed it too must have been from a while back, but no. As he walked around the corner, he saw a woman sitting at the dinner table. She looked between 40 and 50. Her medium-length black hair gently framed her face, Her skin was tanned, and a few wrinkles played around the gentle, knowing eyes, golden like glowing embers. At first glance, she looked nothing like Kenma, whose skin was pale from almost never leaving the house, and the ends of his hair were still bleached, a yellowish blonde. Yet it was the eyes that gave the relationship away. Kenma's mother had the same vigilant eyes as her son, the same knowing look as she analyzed the people around her, the same golden reflection that added a mysterious glint to them. Yet, reflected in hers was an openly displayed kindness. Her gaze alone could make one feel accepted and understood. She radiated a certain security, while simultaneously it seemed as though she was able to look straight into your soul. Keiji, I'm so happy to see you again, sweetie. She got up, and Akaashi gladly let her pull him into an embrace, forgetting for a second about his changed scent. He was still a bit too stunned to fully comprehend what was happening, but the moment she pulled away, he knew that she knew. Kazumi-san, I'm happy to see you as well. She sighed and pursed her lips slightly. Always so formal. Oh well, no one was home when I arrived, so I let myself in. I hope you don't mind. Of course not. He watched her curiously as she went to the kitchen and filled 2 cups with tea, while he placed his bag off to the side. She served the tea on the table and waved him over. Sometimes he'd feel more like a guest in his own home rather than her whenever she came over. He blinked, a bit confused as he tried to sort his thoughts while sitting down at the table. I'm sorry, I didn't expect you to visit today. Didn't Kenma tell you? She asked while observing him closely. Akaashi racked his brain for the memory when it suddenly dawned on him. He did. He did tell them, but no one remembered. It was drowned out by everything else going on. He let his head drop in shame, an apology already on his lips. I'm so sorry, Kazumi-san. We completely forgot. She nodded slowly, her eyes soft, not accusing, compassion reflected within them. Keiji, what is going on? He sighed and took a deep breath. There was no use in hiding this from her. Still, he wished the others could be with him right now. Where were they? A lot, to be honest. Our life has pretty much been a roller coaster lately. She nodded in understanding. Is it because of the baby? Babies. Akaashi corrected, his mood turning a bit more glum again. She picked up on it. I'm guessing you're not expecting multiples. He shook his head and started to fumble with his fingers. Oh, Kenma. No wonder that he sounded so nervous on the phone. She took a sip from her tea. How did he take it? Was it too late when you found out? The Omega took a few seconds to mentally prepare himself before telling her about everything that happened. From their worry when Kenma left so suddenly, about how they found out, to his recent drop. She listened patiently, offering him a reassuring smile or a small pause when he needed it. They don't even know yet that I'm pregnant as well. I only figured it out today. I was at a friend's house and he suggested I do a test. I see. No wonder you forgot I was visiting. She laughed softly. I'm glad, you know. Yes, I wish you all wouldn't have to suffer so much throughout the last weeks. What I mean is, I'm glad that he has mates like you. That you managed. The fact alone that he decided to keep the pup is a testament to how much he trusts you, you know? Akaashi nodded and a smile tucked his lips upward. Yeah, I know. I can't tell you how much it means to me. She gave him another compassionate smile before placing a hand over her heart and laughing again. Why, this means I'll become a grandma. How dare you four make me look so old? Akaashi joined in, once again happy to be reminded by what a loving woman Kenma had been raised. Well, how about I get dinner started while we wait for the others to come home? Then we can break the good news to them while we eat. Subconsciously, his hand wandered to his stomach again, and the same overwhelming love and joy as before washed over him, though this time it was accompanied by nervousness as he tried to guess his partner's reactions. He needed a second to catch himself before following the beta into the kitchen. Thank you so much for watching to the end. It truly means the world to me. I hope you liked this part. Tell me again what you thought about the start to the 3rd season and this turn of events and everything. Oh my god, I just want to know what you think about this series. And yeah, tell me your favorite quote under the pinned comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it so that you don't miss out on any of the future parts. This is the 3rd, 4th video of the Polish holidays. I lost track. I hope you're enjoying it so far. I'm trying to get out as many as I can for the holidays as like a little present to say thank you for all your support. A special thanks obviously goes out to my nerdy neckos, and honestly just everything all of you do for me, like liking, subscribing, just all your lovely comments. It lifts me up so much, and it helps me going through my studies. It helps me with the stress. It helps me financially. So again, it's so appreciated that you watched till the end and everything. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.